What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel where I'm going to actually give you my review for movies up front that premiere on streaming services, and you'll know whether you're a target audience member or if you're a casual viewer, if it's right for you. And then the rest of y'all hopefully will stick around and see if I can justify my recommendations. So today we're going to go and actually review Netflix's The Rip. Now, for target audience members, and by target audience, I'm looking for people that are into cop dramas like cop and drug tales, suspense thrillers, and if you're a fan of Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, you're the target audience for this type of movie. For those, I'm going to go ahead and actually say this is something that you're going to want to watch when there's nothing else on. It's not a must see or anything like that, but it might be worth your time if there's nothing else on. However, if you are a casual viewer that none of those other genres, or you're not a big fan of those actors, if none of those are your target and you just want to know if this is worth your time, I'm going to go and actually say this is a skip it. So those are my recommendations. Now, stay tuned and see if I can justify my recommendations.
Just take whatever money you want and walk away before this goes really bad for all of us.
The Rip premiered in January of 2026 on Netflix. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 53 minutes, and it stars Matt Damon as Lieutenant Dane Dumars, Ben Affleck as Detective Sergeant J.D. Byrne, and Steven Yeun as Detective Mike Rowe. IMDb has a synopsis like this. A group of Miami cops discovers a stash of millions in cash, leading to distrust as outsiders learn about the huge seizure, making them question who to rely on. So when you have a premise like that and the vibe and the trailers and everything like that, the movies that I automatically thought about before and definitely afterwards is I'm thinking of like Assault on Precinct 13 or End of Watch. Those are the ones that kind of come to mind for me. Other films that might be similar to that, give you the same type of vibe, or cop grit or suspense or what have you. You might think of like Heat, Training Day, or Den of Thieves. So all of those is the kind of frame, the genre, things of that nature that you might think of. Now, let's decide if I'm actually a target audience for this or not so you can kind of understand my perspective. For like cop, drug, gang, drama kind of movies, it's kind of a push for me. There are some that I like I did like Assault on Precinct 13. I liked In the Watch. Of course, I love Training Day. Those are like on there. But there's some ones like I've never watched Heat, Den of Thieves, The Town, some things I just never have watched. Things like The Irishman was just too long for me or what have you. So things are like kind of like a push for me in that type of realm. I won't say that I'm the target for it. I won't say that I'm a casual. I'm just kind of like in the middle. Suspense is usually pretty cool for me. It's a good genre. I like good suspense, especially when it's well written. It's got a good premise or what have you. So that kind of makes me a little bit more target audience for it. I like Matt Damon as a whole. Most things that he's in, I'm a fan of. Ben Affleck, okay, not he's nowhere as much as no as good as that Matt Damon is to me. But I could go ahead and actually mess with a Ben Affleck or movie or so every now and again or what have you. So when I kind of cobble everything together, while I'm not like a strong target audience, I would say mostly I'm on the side of being kind of like just into that target audience member. And I think it's important that you should know what side of the fence I'm on when I go and actually give you my perspective. You should always know your reviewer's perspective when taking into account the recommendations that they give you. If you like how that sounds, do me a favor, click like, share, subscribe. And now let me give you the reason why I gave it those recommendations. Storytelling kind of encompasses like the pacing, format, writing, how well the character develop, things of that nature. And I'm going to go ahead and actually say just off rip, it was kind of boring. The first 15 minutes are very much boring. Like the pacing on that was just horrible. Now, once we go ahead and actually get to the place that we're going to get to, that the majority of everything is at the seizure, and the synopsis or what have you, there's some tension building that they do pretty well there.
You see that? P-I-G-S.
All the way from the time they get there up until the point where we're kind of left with like confrontation and decisions and things like that. I don't want to spoil anything, but like that middle part is probably like a good solid like 25 to 30 minutes where you're kind of like, okay, I can dig my teeth into that. So that was actually, pretty decent. some of the things that kind of bugged me, there was a lot of hand holding and a beat by beat dialogue that happened in that place that they were doing a seizure, even beforehand. There's a lot in this dialogue and a story that you are going to be like, okay, I get it, I got it, okay, move on, whatever. Like I see it happening or what have you, and it just didn't do a lot, especially as a target audience member, people that can kind of watch this type of stuff. And you're expecting things. There's nothing that really jumps out at you that you kind of like are surprised with. Um, I personally didn't feel a connection with any of the characters. That's another thing that could kind of get you in these types of films is that you feel like, oh, if there's a connection there, then that might go ahead and actually sway you. Even if the writing isn't strong or the story isn't strong or anything like that, sometimes the characters are compelling. Um, didn't really go ahead and actually get that with this one. There's the premise, like I said, is solid because they're trying to write it in like a particular setting, and that has a strong premise, but then it kind of falls apart in the second half of the second act, and definitely in the third act. It just there's nothing that you go ahead and actually feel like, oh, this is like rebranded, something different, what have you. Like I said, storytelling just kind of boring on there. It's not the worst thing that I've seen, but not very strong. Second thing I look at is acting, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually say it wasn't good. It had some moments here and there. Obviously, Damon and Affleck are friends that love working with each other. They've had multiple films that they've appeared in together. You've surely have seen some Goodwill Hunting or um, Dogma. There's plenty of different things on there that they've actually appeared in together. And so I'm pretty sure that this was a film that they kind of came up with and said like, hey, let's do this cop drama type of thing in there. We haven't done this together, what have you. And I think they were trying to make it work. I think that they liked working together, but their characters are very generic, gray kind of cops where you're just like, it just was not compelling. They weren't, there was nothing that stands out about them. They are oddly enough, they're the other guys in other guys, where you're just like, okay, whatever. And it's, they're trying, but there's just not much to work with. And unfortunately, the supporting actors don't do anything to elevate any of their scenes to kind of punch up stuff to kind of at least either give you some comedy or give you some action or be witty or give you some tense moments or anything like. There's nothing else in there in the acting aspects of things that you kind of feel like, oh my god, I'm really drawn in by the characters themselves. So while there's effort being put forth, it wasn't like a horrible acting job. There wasn't a whole lot with those characters that I cared about. That's how the acting for me it just wasn't really that great. Other things to go ahead and actually consider. Obviously, the premise is the biggest thing that's solid of anything where you kind of the aspect of like when they first get to the place that they're going to get to all the way up to that like beginning of the second act or what have you. I think that was solid. That was pretty good. Has some good tense moments on there and kind of carries you into hoping that the rest of the film is going to be that way. It doesn't turn out that way for me, but at least it's there. The action scenes, there's some brief action scenes in there that were decent, but they were short.
Cover! I'm breaking left! I got the room. You want to steal this rip? Just say it out loud. You a snitch, Mike.
So it's not like you could kind of lean on like, hey, there's some action coming that'll kind of take the place of some of the other things that are going on or what have you. So there's not much in the way of like message or vibe or anything like that to kind of carry this, to kind of make this movie elevated a little bit more or anything like that. It's just definitely a movie where you're just like, okay, got it. Um, it was content. It was definitely content. Really, in conclusion for this, the movie as a person that is a target audience for this, it was very much a paint by the numbers type of deal. It's not the worst that I've watched. It's not the best that I've watched. I think that there was definitely effort and money that was spent on this that keeps it from being like a low budget action film that you're just like rolling your eyes at. But there's just not anything within the premise or the dialogue or the acting or the story overall that really pulled you in. There's holes in the plot. If you just go ahead and actually just start thinking about some things on there, there's things that should not have happened that did, and you're just like, okay, that's crazy. For me, again, because I've watched a lot of these types of films, predictability was pretty much good. I think probably roughly about 25 to 30 minutes in, I knew how this was going to end. and I had it. Nothing noteworthy about the topic or anything like that, so that's not there. Really, a stranded location or like an isolated location with police that are kind of like this grayish type of area. It should have actually had a lot more either character development that really made you care about the characters one way or the other, or if not, there should have been compelling suspense or action that really kind of made you think that other things are going to happen, or at the very least, just some blow some stuff up, some people die, and some things happen or whatever. But we just don't get any of that. We just kind of got like a cookie cutter cop drama that Damon and Affleck try to make work, but it really just doesn't do much. It just kind of lays there. So ultimately, I have a film that I say for target audience members. It's one that you can watch on a rainy day when there's nothing else on TV. See if you like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's, working relationship in this one. You might like it and things of that nature. But for a casual viewer, I'm probably going to tell you watch some of those other ones that I listed earlier before, like Training Day is easily a top movie. I know Heat is one that a lot of people recommend. End of Watch was a really good movie. Those are some ones that deal with the same type of topic, way better premise, way better acting, and everything out there. So I would go ahead and actually go with one of those rather than spend your time on this one. Unfortunately, that's what I've got for the movie The Rip on Netflix. If you're a target audience member, check it out.
AWTGG. What does it mean?
Are we the good guys?
Thank you for staying for the entire review. I appreciate you. I really do. Do me a favor. If you liked anything about this, click like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. You can also go and actually watch one of these other movies that I have going on here, one of these other reviews that are going on. But until the next time, I'll holler at you. Take care of yourself.
Now that's a happy ending. Or is it? Because everything's over now. And all that's left is you and the infinite